Right. I want to go ahead, and it's 6:52, November 12th. I'm going to go ahead and call the Scott County Advisory Plan Commission meeting together. If we could, Randy, we'll start with you and go around the table. Introduce yourselves.
Randy Williams, County Commissioner.
Andrew Boswell.
Tom Springston.
Mark Gardner.
Jonathan White. John Hauser.
Gary Green.
Matt Overleaf.
Stacy Turner.
Carla again.
Do we still currently have a vacancy?
Yes.
Okay. We do have minutes that were just given it to us. Anybody have any question? This is a special session, October 29th. Anybody have any questions? I'll take a motion to approve those as prepared.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second, John. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The minutes are adopted. I'll skip down to confirm. We still have an opening, is that correct?
Has the commissioners appointed anyone for that opening, the vacant seat on this board?
I'm sorry?
Has the commissioners appointed anybody
I-
for a vacant seat on this board?
I think we was going to go ahead and,
Did we talk about that last meeting or not?
We have.
we did. We're gonna bring it up to vote for it.
Okay.
I'm going not to put John on there. So I think the.
Oh, that's right. That's what, oh, yes, we decided, what we're gonna do. We just need to, because, yeah, that's right. You're gonna be their appointee and then we need the,
The council's.
The
gonna
coun-
have to
yeah.
appoint somebody.
So there is a board.
We did make that motion.
We did?
I think we did.
Okay.
I think you're saying,
Yeah,
but then we still have an open
So-
because,
yes, the other
Yes.
opening. we have.
John's been appointed, now the council has to
all right,
appoint
so,
somebody.
Who's been appointed?
Jonathan White.
Okay.
Jonathan's going
As a
off as the
commissioner.
county council rep, but he'll be the county commissioner appointee.
Good, good, good.
But now the council will have to put somebody on in his spot.
Okay. Now, do I have to do anything to tell the council that? Or how does that work?
I can call JR and tell him to do it.
Me to let JR know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to do it, go right ahead.
Okay.
Save me trouble.
Oh, okay.
Is Tom, you're with us till after the first of the year?
Yeah, January 15th. So whether you want me to tell you that or I can tell you that in a moment. But I'll ask Gary if he wants to go by what the agenda says or if you want me to tell you.
Talk to us.
So since this is an advisory plan commission, if it was an area plan commission, you'd have to wait until another extension educator came into place, if you would. But with retiring, if it's an advisory plan commission, our Scott County Extension Board of Directors have the authority, I guess, or responsibility, if you would, to appoint someone in the county. Only requirement is they're a county resident. I think maybe it actually says property owner. But that they would have an interest in such matters, it doesn't have to be that it's strictly agricultural, but you'd think someone that has some knowledge and would be interested. I had made 3 persons recommendation to my area director And in fact, Megan Broughton, who's the CED in charge of the extension board. But anyway, that person initially said yes, and then after they talked to their wife and got to thinking more, they have reneged, if you would, or declined, but that I have two other people in mind. I've made a phone call to who I thought would be next person, and they just haven't gotten back with me. But I feel confident by that January 14th would be, is that the second Wednesday of the month, I think? Of
I have to
January,
look.
that we would have someone in place, they could come with me to the meeting, get them introduced.
Or you'll hang on till they find some.
Yes, well,
Yeah, the 14th is second.
yes. So that then to make that official, another person to be in that slot.
Okay. Well, most certainly mission, but we'll talk about that later. I've got some personal insight. A lot of people didn't know that 20 years ago, Tom carried a lot of weight. He got us through a hell of a mess, and I deeply appreciated that time with this board, building inspections and some other things, so right place, right time. So I'll say that publicly, thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right, going through, create an ordinance for electrical fee schedule and permit.
I did get a fee schedule from the city and their permit application. So I don't know if we want to go by that,
And what was that? What is that?
get that, sorry, I don't have it on here.
We spent forever doing a fee schedule, didn't we?
Yeah, like maybe they didn't have anything for electrical something. I think she's saying there's something that we don't have a permit for or fee for that the city does.
Hey, you miss a chance of charging somebody a fee. That'd be a shame. I'm with you on that.
There's a couple of things, maybe more, you want to start looking at?
And this is what the city has?
That's what the city has.
We redid a bunch of these a while back. Is you have copies of anything?
Of what you all did?
Yes.
I have the regular fee schedule, but it's not on, something for an electrical box isn't on it. And I had a Spectrum putting in 3 a couple weeks ago, and I couldn't charge for them because we didn't have a fee schedule.
For them to do what now?
They were gonna put a so many amp box, attach it to a pole in the county somewhere.
And what did that box do?
I didn't get into it because I was told we didn't have a fee schedule, so I didn't need an
Who
To go.
was doing it?
Spectrum. It was a Castle Crown something, but they were doing it for Spectrum. Carmen gave me this application and I started, she had filled it out, but then we couldn't go any farther because I didn't have a fee schedule.
That's,
A bunch of the fees on this page to me I don't think we
pertain.
need to charge it. But everybody weigh in here.
I guess my question is,
It was a meter box, some kind of amp.
when would we need this? I'm drawing a blank.
Well, I had about 3 or 4 different things right in the same couple days.
So if somebody's building a house, would they fill this out?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I think it's more internet type. Because T-Mobile and Spectrum was both doing it on the same week.
FCC rules.
So at one point in time, north of American Can, there's kind of a radio tower, cell tower, across the street from the police station. We handled putting that in.
Now, I do have a fee schedule for a wireless communication tower,
Okay.
but the electrical was separate. There was separate somehow. They were trying to explain it to me from city, and I don't really understand it.
I mean, I don't think we want, I mean, I don't want to adopt this. If we need,
No,
to-
I was just, that was something to go off of more. We do have a fee schedule for the wireless communication tower because T-Mobile did get that application and that permit.
I mean, if we want to put something in, any of these people that are adding this stuff to these poles and stuff in the county, they're providing infrastructure to our residents. They're gonna, I mean, obviously, they're probably getting paid for that. But if they're attaching, or they're wanting to put a pole in and do it, they've either gotta have easement or own the property.
It was some kind of base. She might have left, I don't know if she did or not.
Building permit cost, it's Scott County.
She did not do that application after she found out she.
What's a regular building permit cost in Scott County?
It's different fees.
I'm being thick, folks. I don't understand this.
Our building permit covers 90% of what's on there. We don't want to charge people out in the county that are replacing their air conditioner. We don't want them to have to come get a fee, pay a fee, $50
This is
to
our
get
current fee.
get that done, but I don't want that.
Here you go. John,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Would it be possible to table this until our next meeting so we can look into what it costs for the two?
I think that's probably, where I'm at.
That's
That's where I'd like,
that's what I'd like to do.
because I mean, some of this is kind of, so we're saying a single multifamily structure, the fee's $100. And how many inspections does that include?
I think it's like 3 or something.
So,
$35 a visit. That's really not enough.
can you look tomorrow and see how much money that brought in last year in permits?
I don't know where to find hers. I know in 1 month I have brought in almost 10,000.
That's good.
But I don't know. I mean, I could probably have Kinley pull her budget or something, but in 1 month, it was 9,000 something.
Could could you look and see just how many permits was, or would that be something for Ken?
I don't know if she can do it by permits.
Okay.
Well, maybe, she might be able to with the waituses when she turns in her, I don't know, because I broke it down when I turn one in per permit. But some of the claims that are
The old way.
yeah, it just gives an amount.
See if
I
you-
can ask.
See if you can just get me in the right ballpark. And just give me a holler tomorrow, and I want to compare it against some other things.
Well, I know kind of looking at the board, this is a lot of new information for me. I'm being a little bit.
Yeah, me too.
So, starting the year, no, check that. I was in the hospital. I was still able-bodied, so we're going back 4 years, 4 years. We really kind of looked at, kind of seemed as it come up, changing our fee schedule. Because we really had not changed the schedule in 25 years. So we went with the idea that we need to double everything. And we probably need to sit down and make sure all that got done the way we wanted it to. And now that we're finding out, and I'm just gonna kind of say it the way I see it, somewhere we got a cell tower, somebody needs to increase the electrical to it. They're gonna want a permit to put up electrical to the tower.
And she did say that she gets a permit, and she fills out an application and gets a permit in all surrounding counties. She goes all over the state and into several states. And she's like, it's usually never over $150. That's what she told me.
Well, we probably need to be sure we're covered with that, because it doesn't sound like we are now. I'm looking the next step up. I mean, this whole AI thing and all this other stuff, that might end up getting electricity and having access to electricity and using it, that might be a big deal.
I will say on the demo permits, the above ground pool permits, we might want to look at those again. People aren't getting those. So if we have a flat fee instead of, for above ground pools, just maybe a flat fee, or a demo permit, a flat fee.
Don't we have this
No, I think it,
on this?
because,
In-ground pool, $30, above ground pool, $10.
but is it on both sides? No, I'm sorry. Like, you have to pay a fee for APC and for building commissioner. I think you have to, building commission, they have to pay 2 fees. All building permits.
That's probably,
And a house demo. I was having questions about that. That's why I brought that up. People have kind of questioned me about it.
well, we ran into one. A person came in, wanted to modify their property. It was discovered at that time that they have an above ground pool and never got a permit. And they left that meeting upset and then tore the pool out. So theoretically, if we were following our laws, they should have got one for the installation and one for the destruction. But they'd gone to Walmart and bought it. And just put it up for the kids to play, not knowing that they had to have X and then Y And for us, that was kind of a bump in the road. It was like, it's not there. You know, what are you gonna do? Like, okay. So, I think some of that is just simple fact that they don't know to do it.
Right. And once we finally get it the way you want it, we probably should post that on our county website.
I didn't know. So if someone comes in to put up a sign or a billboard, they're gonna pay $100 to the Scott County Area Plan Commission. And then depending on the size of it, they're gonna pay another fee to the Scott County Building Commission.
Yeah, so if they're coming in and paying with check, they have to have two different checks.
Well, I did not know that.
I did not know that either. Before, when we were redoing these, we only seen, I don't know which one we seen. We were only seeing one side of this, so I've never seen both sides, ever.
Just like today, I had someone come in for an application on a carport, and it was $50 to APC and $40 to building commission.
No, we do, yeah. We need to take a look at that, because that's, now I'm writing 2 checks instead of 1.
And I do tell everybody that before they come in.
And do you have, how does that money get?
I make 2 reported collections, one to APC and one to building commission. And
Okay,
then I take them both to the treasurer.
okay, what is, for the money that the building commission collects, where does that money go?
Now that, I don't know. I'll have to ask somebody
And
else.
then what the area plan commission collects, I mean, I thought that
It's
would
kept-
pay you, it's kept
It's
separate?
kept separate. I don't know. I mean, I keep everything separate. And then I even give 2 separate reported collections to the treasurer each week.
I mean, I guess this has always been done this way, I don't know. The fees that I seen before were these Scott County Area Plan Commission fees.
Does
I
it
don't
still
know.
say area plan? We need to put it.
Hmm?
Does it still say area plan on that?
Yes,
That's what our department is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
but the Scott County Building Commission, I have no idea what that is, I've never.
Every
I mean,
permit that I give is 2 separate, except the application when an applicant files a petition for rezoning or conditional use. Then that's just 1 check to APC.
And that's Ben Petty that's doing the building inspections.
Okay.
So that's who that is.
Did you understand that's how this has always been?
I don't know that I ever saw the fee schedule that way.
That's the way I am.
Call it. Yeah.
I think I've only ever seen one side of it when we did this 3 years ago or 4 years ago.
But I know we've had the building inspections.
these fees are extremely minimal for what they are.
Yeah.
And if somebody has to write 2 checks, I don't have a problem with that, guys, because, I mean, they're gonna have to go write another check for the building.
Right.
They're gonna have to write a check to Burris when they buy the electric for it, I mean, it's 2 separate entities. I don't see where the problem is with it.
No one has fussed about it, but I do, when I call them and tell them that the permit is ready, I'll tell them how much it is, what goes to which
Yeah.
account, and that I would need 2 checks if they're paying by check.
I don't have a problem with that.
I mean, if you just,
Way back when I was building.
John Ransom got signs here.
All this stuff. That's been 20 years ago.
we got a $60 fee on a sign with 10 inspections. So
I'm not
that's
sure,
only,
I'm not sure that it would take 10 inspections.
well, I'm not sure it is either, but we need to either raise the price or knock back the number of inspections if we're gonna do. And if we have to do more than so many, we need to charge another fee, because it's just,
Because, I mean, putting a sign up would be digging the poles and when it was complete, I think.
I mean, a 301 square feet sign, that's a good size sign,
Yeah, that's true.
but still yet,
You don't need 10 inspections.
it shouldn't. But,
Well, if
I
it
mean,
does,
that's what I'm saying, though, we need to change how many inspections, or we need to go up in price and get this stuff more in line, because if you do have to do 10 inspections, for $6, you're really gonna drive somebody out somewhere and look at a sign?
well, you know, what pops in my mind, Burger King, just pick one. How many inspections is required for that?
It could be a lot.
I mean, you know, you gotta have the height, gotta have the structure,
Mhm.
you gotta have the electricity. You gotta see it in the beginning, make sure the ground's dug. You know, I could see that.
Check weld inspections to make sure that they were certified welders.
If that's-
Electric inspections on them. You know, you're gonna have to check the framing on it before you put the skin on it. Make sure everything's bolted together right, or however they're going together.
Yeah.
But I really don't mind the thought of a two-check thing.
And I'm okay with saying, you know, $60 permit up to 3 inspections or something. But if it requires more, they have to write more checks.
Would that be Ben's inspections?
I would say so.
Yeah,
We just need to table this and talk to
Yeah,
Ben and
we
ask
do.
him, you know, how,
I agree 100%. We need to give this some thought.
I've never put a minute stone in the billboards.
I mean, we got a above ground pool, $10 fee, 1 inspection. Now, above ground pool, we all know they're cheap pools, and I get that, but still yet, you've got to buy fuel, and you got to pay for a guy's time to go out there. $10 ain't much.
I can't find that one. Oh, there it is.
And you'll just have to look across the page.
I
and
think
see.
we need to table this, and look at the fees,
Yeah,
and
well-
people think about them, and
I think
So let's table this, but let's take this in bites. Jonathan, what do you want to see at the next meeting? What do you, mention
Well-
something about talking to,
I'd like to find out how much we're having to pay Ben to, do all these inspections and see if we're,
How many inspections each project takes.
yeah, I've got a whole handful of questions for Ben. I've got a few questions for Jennifer on the, how's this money dispersed back out?
And what accounts it goes to,
Yeah.
I just don't know. I mean, I have the account numbers, but I don't know
Right.
where it goes and
Right.
how it works.
Well, there's no account numbers on none of this.
and I'm seeing things a little differently. But let's just say that, and I'm gonna just take away city limits county, but let's just say I'm out in the county. And I'm building a church. Ball egg rooms. You know, you gotta have an inspection. The electricity hooks to the wall on the outside. Gotta have a weatherhead inspected during the course of construction. Once it's attached to the building, it goes inside. Gotta inspect all that. Is all those layers covered?
I have a few inspection sheets that he uses that I give with the permit when it is given. So they know when to call him on
Okay.
inspections like foundation, electrical and water.
Cause I worked one construction job in Indianapolis and, they had your signboard out next to the weatherhead. And, if you were working on something, part B, and that Part A inspection wasn't on that board, then you had to stop. So you called in and said, hey, I got the rough end for the canopy done. Come inspect it. They came in and said, okay, you're good. Then you can close it in now. You can do X, Y, and Z, the next step. But you couldn't go past the first step until the second step, and that was on your construction notice sign. You know, we see them at all the sites. So I don't know if that's the same for us. But I'm like John, I only remember seeing half this.
But I guess let's start out with, she has originally asked, we don't have anything to cover, someone setting internet or phone poles or wires or boxes, control boxes. It's not covered on here anywhere. And everybody else is, so we need to put something in there to cover that, whether we call it electrical, I don't know how you would call it, internet or phone,
Like,
electrical equipment.
meter boxes, I think is kind of what she said.
And
Yeah.
put $100 on it for now and see what we got, so we got something.
Is that something Ben would ever inspect?
He said, well, I did ask him before, well, when I was talking to the lady trying to get an application for her. And we had some kind of a form, but it was more of a wireless internet tower. And so I give that to her and she's like, this isn't, I know you're new, this isn't what I usually fill out. So I called Carmen and she sent this. And Ben said that we've never done it before, so he hasn't inspected it, haven't had to inspect it yet, but he knows that other counties do.
So if Spectrum was gonna go set a meter box
3 different
on
ones.
Barn or somewhere, we would need to send Ben out to make sure it was installed correct.
Yeah, apparently.
APC would not require a permit for that though, would we? That's just a building commission only.
See, that's where I don't know. That's what I don't
Do we
understand.
need an application?
That's what she's getting at. And we don't have it, but the city does.
City does, yes.
So that's what-
And when I was talking to the lady, the applicant, she said that the pole or the tower, whatever, was already there. They were adding a box or a meter box, amp box, something to an existing pole. So she's like, it wouldn't be a wireless communication tower because that's already there. Because like the wireless communication tower, I think was like 500 or 250 or something. And she said, because that's what I was gonna charge her, because that's what I thought she was doing. And she's like, no, that's not what I'm doing, that's already there. And
What's
she said,
ILP stand for?
I'm sorry,
ILP,
Under the PUD or waste disposal,
yeah,
It's up under industrial zoning too.
I'll have to say, right now, I get the applications and send them to Carmen. And she tells me, she gives me the invoice and tells me what to charge. So I haven't got that far yet.
I don't remember what it was.
I don't think we ever knew what it was. I don't know what it is.
Well, let me ask Carla, in order for us to do a feed, we're gonna have hearing and all that other stuff, aren't we?
That's what I was actually
Probably
trying to
need to
look up
publish it for
on
sure.
that, yeah. I don't, I mean, I would think that I don't think it's necessary because it's kind of just a decision we would make, but that's why I was actually looking in the statutes right now, because I was like, I know the way we worded it on here, we can't create an ordinance, that definitely has to be, but if we're doing
Well-
just fees and things like that, I mean, I guess we could allow people, I don't know if we have to though, that seems a little,
My-
something that's not really there.
My only, experience with state board accounts is through the educational
Yeah,
sector. And you cannot collect a fee
Alteration.
unless you have an account to receive it.
right, so that may be, yeah.
So,
I just asked AI and it says, in regards to zoning and permits, ILP most commonly stands for improvement location permit. So an improvement location permit is a local government document required before starting construction, adding an addition or making other significant changes to a property.
Well, see, I believe that would cover,
Well, we have ILP new construction too.
and that's $150, because if I'm reading it right, because it says see above, well, the above one's $150. I don't know why they didn't just write $150 there, but
It says in relation to building permits, an ILP is typically one of the first steps in the development process. Once an ILP is issued, you will usually need to obtain a separate building permit from the local building department, which focuses on the structural safety and compliance with building codes like fire safety, electrical systems, plumbing, and so on.
So maybe that would blanket it.
addition, alteration, removal, or repair. Sure, got one of them would cover it, I would think.
Well, it did say in that definition, electrical, that might blanket cover.
And that, how much is that fee?
Well, it says see above, and the one above it's $150. I don't know why they didn't just write
Consistent with what she said she
$150 there.
was, right, when she said she usually paid.
No, they're talking about see the ILP stuff above. We got ILP up there 2 more places.
Whether it's business zoning, industrial zoning. Or where the, Stacy,
Oh, I
are
see.
the poles zone business, or are they just in an agricultural area? The poles that they're, or the tower that they're, do they actually zone where a tower is at, I guess is what I'm asking.
Well, a tower usually is.
Well, it'd be $150
Separate.
under business zoning too.
Sometimes a tower,
Addition, alteration.
they'll split off land for it to somebody, and then other times it's just put on someone's land as an easement.
Mhm.
But a lot of times it's split off, like a piece of an acre split off for the tower itself.
I'd use the ILP $150.
Yeah, that's what I mean, you got ILP under business zoning, $150. Or under industrial zone, it's $200. I believe that the lesser of the two evils.
I did tell her to check with me each time she does it, because we were going to go over the fee schedule. And she said she would,
Oh,
and she does it quite often, so.
That sure would be where I'd go.
Can we do a set fee and then turn around and do a set amount per inspection? And each application, would require Ben to look at it and decide how many inspections it would be.
That makes the most sense to me.
Well, if it's $10, say you charge $10 on top of whatever the permit fee is, like a sign, 300 square foot sign's gonna cost you 10 inspections. That's another $100.
I think
Well, I
we
don't
probably
think-
should.
$10 is enough for an inspection.
Well, I'm just using that for easy math.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I see it on here though, is the reason I say that, just,
Maybe we should just get him in here and go down the list and say, you know, how many inspections does this take or
well,
what it,
it won't be that cut and dry. And I'm gonna throw out an example. So you got 1,501 square foot, accessory structure down your garage storage. All right, and you got up to 7 inspections. All right, is it gonna have a mezzanine in it? Is that guy gonna be pulling engines off the mezzanine? What's he gonna have on top of that mezzanine? Because if it's a 16-foot tall structure,
I don't have a lift.
We gonna put mezzanines in it,
yeah.
soon as that permits, we're out and done.
So that's why I think that we need to have them, you know, do a drawing of exactly what they're gonna do. We have-
They do that.
Right, but I mean, if he's gonna have so many inspections anyway, he'll know within the inspection, hey, wait a minute. You got boards that are running uncommonly low for this roof. And there's nothing tied in at the top, you know, mezzanine. But anyway, I think we need to look at our set amounts and decide what we want to charge on that. And then Ben needs to look at every plan and decide from the get-go. And just let them know, you know, hey, you know, I'm charging $30, $40, whatever it is,
And I
for an
think,
inspection.
and you're gonna need 2 additional inspections.
And you're gonna
than
need
normal.
2, as long as you're following your plans. Yeah. Any more, if we run across any more, you'll get a stop. Cease, you know, work until we get more.
Cause at this point, he doesn't look at anything until I've already issued the permit. And then I give him a copy of the site plans and the building plans.
But I think that's just gonna be the only fair way to do it to anybody, really.
And maybe,
I don't disagree with that at all, but if we're gonna build 500 homes, and we got one van, I think we're going backwards, if we're chasing $15 inspection fees. I mean, Ben's time's being pretty important, so he's gonna spend $100 worth of time trying to determine, can we collect $50 worth of fees?
Well,
I think
You're gonna take a pretty valuable resource and have him tripping over dollars to pick up pennies, I'm afraid. If we're gonna see a rapid growth.
And we have 2 subdivisions on the horizon.
And I don't debate it all,
Yeah,
but
but
I totally get what you're saying.
you know, even our subdivisions, though, you know, they're not gonna go out there and build 150, 200 homes without having them sold first. They're gonna build a home, sell it, build a home, sell it, build a home, sell it. I mean, if it gets to be an issue, then we've obviously started to make a lot more money and we can add another person.
I mean, she said we made $10,000 and we're not,
1 month.
inspection fees aren't really a cost to us. I don't, if we're getting 10,000 a month in fee income, you know, we're more than covering Ben's whole salary with that.
Yeah. But I mean, if we have to add, we can, if we're to that point. That's my thought.
Well, and a way to look at it too would be maybe talk to the city, because they have 4 subdivisions on the horizon and 1 inspector. They also have though, law enforcement, code violation person. And we don't have a code violation. Law enforcement. And you
Yeah.
have to do that if you're gonna,
I think we need to change that too.
we have to have that if we want to do anything. I mean, legally, you're gonna have to have a law enforcement code inspector.
We need one for a long time anyways.
and then
We've got rules in place nobody follows because nobody's out there checking.
well, and we don't have an ordinance to be able to fine anybody.
Yeah.
For doing it.
Cause we
Well,
don't have a code.
Most counties, their building inspector packs in this cute little badge, and he's got just as much authority as the police does. Scott County's one of the few counties that ain't like that. And that was 20 years ago.
Well, and that is, I have heard that they, would have a badge and would have that.
But they have ordinances to back them up where he
Right.
says, okay, I'm gonna start fining you $250 a day till this is fixed.
And here's the ordinance.
And here's the ordinance, and then that gets,
That's our job.
right, we don't have that in place.
Maybe we need to do a better job if we don't have that in place.
We do. The city just did theirs in the last year or so. It was never in place here anywhere. And then that will go, it'll get, I think it ultimately gets put to the taxpayer.
We do kind of need to look at our ordinances too, since people can't find it, I can't find it. Some things.
So I guess, Chairman Green, I'd suggest, as we've kind of said, when you look at this or get Ben and ask him, and I'd say too, on this, on the fees, a lot of them look like it's $10, but then here a demolition for minor one inspection, it's $25. At the bottom of that, electrical upgrade, it's one inspection, it's $15. So to me, it's not quite consistent, but pick the number, or Ben can tell you how many it's gonna take, but I'd suggest.
Tom, with what you said, I think the bell rings for me
Mhm.
at our next meeting.
Mhm.
We need to get Ben in here, have him go through this list. I, for one, I gotta see things in color. I was gonna request a whiteboard tonight to draw on there to help me figure out splits,
Mhm.
because I can't still grasp what y'all say. So I think maybe we get Ben in here and just have that conversation and do a what if, with the idea we walk away from that meeting, we have a firm grasp. Somebody wants to build another hotel, another mile out of town. It's a 3-story hotel with an elevator. How many inspections?
Well,
Who does it? When?
did we give Ben the leadway to say, this is a big project, I'm gonna go have to inspect this thing 30 times. And each one of those is $30, so it's an extra $900 or whatever that number is. Do we give him that leadway?
I think we do.
I think you should.
Because let's face it, I mean, you've got, out there building I don't know, the garage out of treated lumber, he's got 2x12s hanging with 8s uncoated. All right, so now you're gonna just incur more inspections because you wasn't smart enough to know that you wasn't supposed to use that nail at that point.
Right. Yeah, maybe we give Ben some leadway to go, I'm gonna have to watch these guys every day.
So then back to the other question or topic, and Stacy needing something about electrical fee schedule. Remind me, Carla, what we're saying, if we're actually putting it into an ordinance, may have to be posted, advertised.
Right, I said, we said create an ordinance for electrical fee schedule. Our fees are not in the ordinances, right? So I don't know if we're changing an ordinance or not.
I don't know that they are now, but we probably should make
I
them.
get what you're saying, I think we need to put something in
I mean, if we're
place.
gonna add something, or basically change the ordinance, yes, it has to be in our.
See, now
I would check.
I'm on the struggle bus a little bit with that.
Yeah,
If you did a cost.
I think we're covered with that IP.
ILP.
yeah, I was gonna say, though, I think, yeah, that might, we could just
If
say,
somebody
whatever,
comes in and
categorize
wants
that with that.
to improve an existing structure, and they're in a industrial setting,
Mhm.
there's our fee right there. If they're in a business, there's our fee. The only thing I don't see on here is agriculture. So if somebody's got a tower in the middle
Of a field, which happens.
of, what's the schedule for that? Where would we find it? Right here.
I'd have to just add a line.
That's what I'm
But
getting
for
at.
right now, I'd go with that right there. If a cable company's doing it, it's business. I don't care if it's in the middle of a cornfield or it's against my shop. If a cable company's dropping electric or something, that's business. Or that's how I see it anyhow.
So, I think with this, we've already got what we need without recreating.
I think so. You just call it business.
But will that cover it if it's out in the middle of the cornfield and it's still ag zone? What do we want to tell her to charge?
I'd call it business, because it's, it's cable company's a business.
Okay,
I'd say the 150.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
She acts like that's what she's used to paying anyway. She's probably fudging you. She probably pays 250, but
Yeah,
still, 150 is better than nothing right now.
Yeah, cause I mean, that, and this, could have been $450.
I can tell you, as a county, we've got to start thinking that way. It's either charge enough to cover the things that we do, or tax eyeballs out of everybody that don't use them services. That's our two choices.
So charge electrical and our ILP for now. We're gonna table everything until the next meeting, have Ben appear at the next meeting and go from there.
Yep.
And are we gonna make this fee schedule an ordinance? So it can be put in our ordinances? I'm just asking, I don't know how that
Yeah, I
works.
mean, I guess
How
maybe
do you enforce
for
it
our
if you
first,
don't?
Well, that's true.
yeah,
So we probably should.
maybe as an agenda item that we can maybe review and revise fee schedule. I mean, if we're wanting to look up, I'm looking at Jefferson counties right now, to see, there's this last update, looks like in 23. But then I guess if we want to make it part of ordinance, that was something we could do. I mean,
And the only other thing,
or if we want to do, I don't know, you guys make a decision if you want to do
The
that.
commissioners have
Then-
to vote to make it an ordinance, right?
yes.
So we would just,
Be amending the ordinances, so we need to go and kind of see everything, and
But
we'd
we
make a
So we would
decision,
have-
and that'd have to be there.
have to do a
Pass it on.
recommendation to you all.
Yeah, you guys do a recommendation sent to us, and I'll be honest with you, I don't even know if we shouldn't even give some thought to start requiring licensed contractors in Scott County. Other areas do it all.
Jefferson does, Jefferson requires you have to be licensed and insured, and
Yeah.
so like I can't go out there and add a lean-to to my garage on my own?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
But if you hire it done, they gotta have a license.
They gotta, if you have somebody else do it, they have to have a license.
Oh, I see, okay.
It's been that way for years in a lot of municipalities.
Okay, I just didn't understand it.
the only other thing I think we've discussed that, I think we need to come to agreement is what we believe things are saying is what they're saying. I go back to the original gentleman. If he couldn't find that he couldn't put two pieces of property, and I distinctly remember seeing that now, but I couldn't tell you where I saw that.
Well, and like I said, Marty, I mean,
Yeah.
told me that since I've started here, but I cannot find it.
Well, and I was always told that you can take them into compliance, but you can't take them out of compliance.
Right.
You can't tell a guy to combine all your property, because that takes him out of compliance. Which was the conversation I had, but They're saying you can't find it.
Of course, I don't know, the only place I can find our zoning ordinances is on the city website, which is still this 126-page document. I don't know, it has everything, but I was looking at that and I could not say, ending specifically saying two structures on one parcel is, I don't know if that's kind of implied with that, but then I don't know, again, it kind of gets hard for me to have my wrap around. If you got a 20-acre piece of property, you know, you have one structure over here and one structure over
Well-
here, you know, that you could say you can't do that.
Mark,
And-
there's probably, now that I think about it, there's probably a lot of places in this county where they share a driveway. Grandma and grandpa lived here, they built a farm here, or built a house here, it's probably on the same deed.
Well, I think what they're saying now is if that was grandfathered in before the ordinance,
Right, that's true, yeah.
then it will remain. And if you want to change it you'll have to have a variance. Or like this one, it is 3 different parcels. So
Right,
it is
you would be
in
taking it
compliance
out, yeah.
now.
I
If you
wonder if that-
combined them, it would be taking it out of compliance, so you couldn't do that.
I wonder if maybe it's not a state IC code or whatever you call to prevent that. I don't know.
Most counties or municipalities that have any oversight at all, it's been my experience, and my experience is limited, is that it's generally understood, and I think it's probably written down, and I think I've seen it written down in Scott counties, that one residence per parcel. Now, there are places like Crothersville, they're wide open. Do what you want to, nobody cares. Put 3 trailers on a 100-foot square if that's what you want to do. I don't think it's Indiana Administrative Code. It certainly could be, I guess. I think it's municipality to municipality. You know, Scott County and Scottsburg used to be the same. Now they've diverged for whatever reason, and it's not surprising that there's 2 different sets of rules and circumstances. Austin never has been part of the county. There's your 3rd set. Like John said, there are lots of places that things happened before anybody gave any thought to any kind of order, and oftentimes something is done that's a little ordinary to put things into compliance or take, create a new parcel for a house, for a parcel that's not big enough for the ordinance, but it gets 2 parcels off of one, or 2 residences off of one parcel. And that's what looked on as a good thing. So I think you're gonna have to look at it on a case-by-case basis. I don't know.
Yeah, like reading, I don't know if this word we got. If you read it, agricultural, permitted uses, 1-family detached dwellings, parks and playgrounds, public structures, religious facilities, this, you get it going through here. I don't know if we've all read it, or maybe it was intended that it means it's one-family detached dwelling. But technically, I think it just says 1-family detached dwellings. I guess it doesn't really,
And maybe we want to amend that and
yeah,
add,
to make clear, and then that,
to
that's just
clarify
for
an ordinance.
agricultural, then an R1. Of course, then it's got the minimum lot size, which obviously we need to get this updated, because on the website, it still says 2 acres and 200, but that gives you all of that. R1, single family detached dwellings, park and playground, public structures, religious facilities, accessory uses and structures.
Okay, and
Condition-
the new ordinance where it goes from 2 acres to 1 and 200 feet of road frontage to 100, I don't have a signed, approved, recorded ordinance. So I told everyone if they are
So
under an
who's
acre to come
recording?
back in a month or so.
Who's supposed to record it? Cause it's signed by, I mean, they signed that document
I
that
was
night.
told that it wasn't right yet.
But I don't understand, I thought that Jennifer said it was approved that day and they signed that. I don't understand what else needs to be done for it.
Oh,
I
It
don't-
needs to be recorded, and then it needs to be
Just need
changed.
to ask Zach, cause he's the one that writes all them money, ain't he?
I was told that the A1 language on the back was wrong and like there's stuff
Well,
marked
that's a
out.
Scrivener's error on that, I think, but I mean, and they made those, I don't say it could just
Okay,
record it
I
as
just,
it
I don't
is.
have it.
Yeah.
I don't have an official approved recorded ordinance.
And does it say anything about easements on that?
No, we didn't talk about that, yeah.
1 acre, 100 foot.
What I had provided to the commissioners, that was just the,
Setbacks and
Yes.
the 2 acres to 1 and the
Yeah.
setbacks on that.
That,
so that's what was approved, that was what was signed off on and said ordered.
we signed it. I don't know.
It seems to me, it just needs to be
It was Zach.
recorded.
I know that we signed it. Maybe Zach has it in his paperwork.
No, we
But I'll
got
be
a
honest
copy
with
of it,
Yeah, I know she has a
But it's-
copy of it, yeah.
Not approved to record it.
but it is approved, they signed it.
Okay, it's not recorded, so I
Okay,
just,
so it just needs to be recorded as far as I can tell, but I don't know who records it.
Well, the auditor was recorded, I guess.
I guess it just
We-
needs
we
to take it
signed
down there.
when I was given that copy, I was told the language on the back is wrong and it wasn't legal yet.
Who
So I
told
just
you that,
been,
you know, remember?
I was thinking Jennifer, but I don't,
I mean, when you
And
guys
that's
showed me, there was something that was gonna be published. I did say something, I was like, well, I think it was just saying it was just A, but I don't know, I mean, it's just
something
necessarily.
about publishing it or publishing
I thought it was
that.
published, that's
We
who,
did.
That's why.
it was supposed, and she told me that was what was gonna publish, that's why we were talking to that guy that day. And she said, okay, I think we were gonna send it in there, it was gonna run that Wednesday. That's what I was looking, I wanted to
So I
look
just
at,
need
so
to
I thought
ask
it was
her if it's
published.
recorded.
You should be able to just.
And
ask
was
for a
it,
copy.
was
That's
that
it.
published? Cause I thought that's what we talked about in the
I mean,
day.
technically, it was recorded is when we had the meeting and we signed it and passed it on video. So
It's supposed to.
from there on, it's a legal document.
Yeah, I was gonna say, sorry, I guess I'm a little confused on the recording, because that seems like, why would we just do bits and pieces of recording to document? It seems like it should be changed, and maybe the whole zoning should be recorded, so people can go look at it there, but it seems that would be a little strange to just keep recording, oh, we changed this, we recorded, and this.
Yeah.
It probably, I think the whole
I think I've been
thing-
telling
We-
people wrong is what I'm saying, because I
Well-
didn't understand it right.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just wanna make sure we do,
So Zach had, what you're talking about, is Zach had some,
he did say something needed to be published. But
we
then I
had to
thought that was
change a couple things from what Zach had written and what we had
Right,
put forward.
but that's what I'm
But
saying,
it
that's the
was just to
document they
mark it
signed, was
out,
the marked up. It
And he
wasn't
wrote
done
it right on
afterwards.
the paper and we accepted it that way. So.
There's no much work to change it.
So it sounds like they're gonna get that worked out. What else do we need to discuss or?
I think we're fine. I think,
Did we get any numbers in that?
We did.
It's all up here.
No, we didn't.
I think we're good. I think we probably, well, number one, this is November. I don't put us into having a December meeting. And, need to be sure that, our inspector's there.
Okay, and when is that? What date is that?
So you said, do you have a December meeting, Gary?
Yes,
That'd be the 10th, December 10th.
Yes, December 10th.
December 10th.
With
Do we,
If there's no BZA, I'd say make it at 6.
okay,
But yeah, I don't know, if we have any applications
I
so
don't
far
have
right now.
anything.
When's it gonna be?
Who's gonna be
Second Wednesday of the month, so that's December
December
the 10th.
10th at 6 o'clock.
Okay, on our,
December 10th.
Pardon?
on our little sheet here, it says we're gonna talk about solar and easements too. Is
You wanna just
anybody,
table that?
we can.
Yeah.
I didn't know if anyone had come up with any ground shaking plans or
Haven't
ideas.
had any chance to really search any others or talk about. I just know on easements, that's what I was thinking, that there was something in the ordinance, states that ours at the moment does say a 50-foot easement. And that we've mentioned, is 30 adequate to run your, a road and a underground utilities or whatever, but I think the ordinances does say 50 at the moment. So that's why I was kind of going back to okay, if they make it 1 acre and 100 foot unencumbered easement, then it's actually 150 foot wide by, for 1 acre. But that's kind of the discussion, I think, and that needs to be clarified in an ordinance that you can say, well, here's the actual
Yeah.
ordinance and the teeth to where this is what you gotta do.
I'm
Well,
not
yeah.
so sure several of the ordinances don't need kind of revised.
Yeah, so it says there that everything is adopted and the ones that are at least posted on the internet is the 2004.
2004.
Let me hit pause for a second. To answer Tom's question in my brain, we're gonna have our inspector here. Where do we have easements at now?
50 feet.
Well, I guess that just kind of, depends. It's usually, other than not, like I said, they're really kind of discouraged. Obviously, there's this utility easements that are kind of granted, but, you'll give, if I was writing a deed, I would say, and it's, somebody's selling, like, is it a back parcel, and they want to retain an easement, though, to be able to get back somewhere. Usually thinking of driveways are generally 10 to 12 feet. So generally an easement, and we'll say, hey, this has an ingress, egress easement. That's generally, like I said, about the size of a driveway.
Well,
So,
like the guy that
it depends on what you're
earlier,
needing.
He had the two, like if this was his 2 lots in the front and this was his lot in the back, he can't sell this one unless he has an easement back to it.
Right, yeah. He would have to sell that property and say, and then I'm granting you an easement over my property to get back to that property.
My question is, do we have, and let's just say, do we have 10 different type of easements and 10 different numbers associated with easements? I've got an easement that a company gets to go to their electrical. I have an easement that I get as a property owner because I have one back here. Is there
Farming easements, utility easements.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it just kind of depends. I don't think there's any rule, like I said, if you're giving an easement for a driveway, ingress, egress, you're gonna give them 10 to 12 feet.
Okay.
For a driveway. If you need to get a combine back there, obviously you need a bigger easement, because that's just built into the deed and.
Didn't you say we required 50 somewhere?
To get a building permit, you have to have a 50-foot easement if you don't have the
Road frontage.
whatever the road frontage is in the ordinance. Yeah, now it's 200. I understand that the commissioners voted. I don't know that it's law yet. What, if that be promulgated or something like that before?
What do you say? On the,
200 to 100.
On the
Oh,
200.
yeah.
I understand there was a vote. I don't know.
there is a vote and it was off, yes, and that's where the confusion, I'm pretty sure it was published. It needed to be published before it could be officially, but they voted, it's a done deal. They have spoken.
So that's,
It is there.
so the next meeting when we talk about, we just need to be sure, whatever that number is, that they said yes to, 50 feet, 30 feet, whatever.
Yeah, well, I
I'm not
didn't talk
sure.
about easements at all though necessarily, and that's what I'm saying, I guess I'm trying to
We
get my
went
head
through-
back around
we
what
went
you would do
through
there, because it wouldn't be, I wouldn't be granting
Zach
anybody an
had-
easement unless they're,
he
go over my
missed
property.
Figured what he wrote down.
We just need that number. And
I don't think easements was on that ordinance.
No, the easements wasn't on, but it was the 30 feet from the back, 10 feet
Oh,
from the
yeah,
side.
setbacks, the setbacks were.
Yeah,
But
and
right
and that's,
now-
the setbacks is what he had messed up, but then once I told him that, he marked them and wrote the correct
Right, yeah,
setbacks.
so that's what he
What
was. just
you guys,
So
did
from what
there.
I'm saying.
But there's
what
no
we-
easements right
What we
now,
agreed on has not been put in front of them yet. Right.
not easements, but then no one's gonna need an easement
Uh,
where they got road frontage. You
well,
need an easement if you're back on
You
there.
need even if
We-
you're back behind them, but that's gonna happen.
we agreed on the setbacks in 1 acre,
Right,
100 feet, yeah.
but
Right,
we
so,
needed another component of that because now somebody's gonna come and grant someone an easement through that. And it's going to get it too tight for a structure to be built.
well,
Your setbacks.
yeah, I guess only the owner of the property can grant an easement, so if some farmer has cut off his front there and said he's not gonna be able to, like sold these lots on front of the road, he can't sell anything interior, cause he doesn't own this stuff anymore. He can't say, I'm granting you an
he's-
easement on someone else's property.
But if he put the easement on it before he sold it.
Like,
To get
I
back
would tell you,
just
I
like
would
we
not
were
buy
telling
a piece
this
of
man
property with a 50-foot easement on it, then I'm like, no, thank you.
Well,
Okay, if
I
you
would
have,
say, if you got a driveway,
but then like
Well,
this man that was here asking
Yeah.
us tonight is gonna say, where's it written? I can't do that.
yeah, exactly.
well, he needs to get an easement forever that's necessary for him to work on that.
I
He
understand
doesn't
that,
have to
But at
say,
some point in
yeah,
time, they say they're gonna live there forever and pass it on to their children. That may or may not happen. 10 or 15 or 20 years from now, we could be dealing with that. That's what we need to stop in the process.
like I would say, if someone is going to sell the property, if they're with the intention of doing that, they'll have to grant the easements right then.
Yes.
They'll have to say, I'm just letting you know, there's going to be, well, if there's side by side, if it would be 50, I'd say 25 on one, 25 on that, make one person make the burden of the 50 foot. And same thing, you don't want to say it's 50 foot here, 50 foot here, and you got 100 feet of a lot size worth of an easement that nobody can do anything with because you can't impede an easement.
But we don't have any minimum requirement on it.
But we don't have the requirement written on it. It'll happen. Wait and see, Mark.
Well, that's what I'm saying, it depends on what you're saying you need it for though. I mean, like I said, a
We needed that
driveway, a
We
driveway
needed
is
100,
12
we
feet.
needed it to say when they voted on it, 100-foot unimpeded.
I thought we was gonna vote or decide that when we decided we was going to
But then-
split up the grounds.
Okay, we can put that with it.
Yeah.
And that's the next thing we still need to address is the split.
Because
Well,
he
yeah, I
is
was gonna
going
say.
to have an easement to get back to that wooded area behind him at some point.
If he sells it
If he
separate.
sells
If
it
he keeps
separately, yes.
If he keeps control of it, yeah. But at some point in time, who knows, they could die in a car wreck.
Mhm.
And that's gonna be sold at an auction. And then we go, what do we got? We got, these three parcels and you can't get to that one and there's an easement that's not proper granted on it. I mean, that needs to be, it ain't for right now. Everybody thinks, yeah, I understand what the deal is. I own it, I can do what I want, but ownership changes, but that stuff travels with the deed.
Oh, right, as I'm saying. But if the setbacks don't really mean anything, if you're gonna make them have an easement, because they can't impede the easement. I guess what I'm saying, if you're gonna say that one's gotta have a 50-foot easement, they can't build anything on that easement.
Correct. But
So 50-foot easement on, like I said, on both parcels, like I'm saying, I'm kind of, right now, I'll tell you what I'm thinking of. I'm envisioning where, the farmers that don't use all their land and they, like they've done on, say, State Road 7 there in Jefferson County, they just split those off and they let people build their houses facing there.
Right.
Probably not with the intention of doing that. That's what I'm envisioning. If you're gonna say that each parcel has that 50-foot easement, then that's 100 feet down right there, then no one can build.
No,
Then the
no,
setback will
everybody
have to be from the easement.
Everybody doesn't have to have one, but if you're going to grant an easement through there, the 100 feet is not enough. So this one lot where the easement's gonna go through, that's gotta be 150.
Exactly. I thought that's what we'd already done.
That's what we talked about. If you,
Right,
if
hundred
it's not,
fifty feet road footage, yes.
if you're going to put an easement on it, before it's eligible to have an easement put
We need to
through it.
look at that again next meeting.
So a person,
Okay, so you're gonna say, if you have intentions of ever selling your interior landlocked property, you're gonna have to have or you're just saying you want, okay, now I'm getting myself.
you can say, you can build a house on this property because it has 100-foot unimpeded road frontage. Because you may have someone that buys,
Unencumbered.
unencumbered.
Well,
We may have lots that have got 168 feet of road frontage. It's below the 200 we acquired before, and it's 1 acre. You could do that, but then the next guy goes, well, I got 128 feet. I want to put an easement back to my property. And you say, no, you can't do that, because then that forward property will not be eligible to build on unless they come and get a variance.
all right, because no one can vote right now, you still have to have road frontage. You absolutely have to have road frontage.
Okay, no, it was.
No, you can build 2 houses off of an easement right now in our laws.
Oh, well, so you're saying then you would, okay. Well, let's say, I view an easement though needing a driveway.
Right.
A driveway's 10 to 12 feet.
We require that now to be 50 feet.
So there's a possibility that in the future, we'll have a piece of property that we'll have to do a variance on because the easement is only 35 foot.
Possibility. But in 2 hours, we talked about, we come up with the best plan
Right.
was to say it had to be 100 foot
Unencumbered.
unimpeded, unencumbered, excuse me, to make
You're
it
writing that somewhere.
to be a viable building lot.
Right, so,
We need, what they voted on somewhere, we need one more line put in there to cover
Yeah,
us.
to say that, you gotta have 50 feet minimum to go to any lot in the
Well, we can talk about that. Mark said that might be a little much. But that's what we've always went with. But in us knocking this road frontage down,
Or if you want to get a 747 down that driveway.
Some of these combines,
Well, most of these combines anymore, pulling on a trailer.
Just combine themselves with that in the head on it.
but you gotta make the swing to get that trailer in there.
Yeah.
oh, the combine without a handle.
If we're gonna stay with the 50, I think we have to say that lot has to be, for it to be viable, has to have 100 foot with no easement on it. That lot can be 150 and the 50-foot easement on it, but we gotta have 100 foot to be able to build a house.
right, yeah. And if I bought 100 acres, I'm gonna say that, or 1 acre into the lot, I'm not granting anybody an easement. It's my property now, and nobody's coming across my property.
I understand that.
You can say that.
Yeah.
But if you had a 180-foot lot and somebody says, hey, I own this property behind you, I'll give you 50 grand to give me a 50-foot easement across
So I
this
can get
corner.
my,
You need
so
to
I
have
can
that
get my
option to be able to do that.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying, but then I might also say, no, I'm not gonna give you, I'll give you a driveway, or I'll give you whatever you need to get on there, but cause then that's,
Mark says no.
yeah, Mark says, no.
Well, you don't have to get the easement from the person who originally owned the property. This guy's 12 acres. He could get an easement from anybody that has property down Slab Road and get a 50-foot easement to go back there. I mean,
If they pay,
you're
yeah,
not gonna be able to come up with
yeah,
something that's going to cover every contingent.
right, exactly.
there's some reason that whoever chose the 50-foot width chose it. We have no idea what that is. All you can say is bigger is better.
Or whether you think they were contemplating in this A zone, it was combines and tractors.
I can't imagine what they were contemplating. I
Yeah.
can't begin to think. I mean, typically, with county roads, we have a lot of county roads that are 30 feet wide.
Well, that's what I'm saying, like, I don't want it to look like a road, and then people are calling, I'm like, wait a minute, here's my easement, and I have to take, and then the person granted the easement has to maintain it.
Bunch of houses.
Well,
They need 20 foot past the power line's 8 foot. That's 28 foot used up right there.
that's what I think they're talking about, possible
that's-
utility.
Could be, that's
Oh, maybe,
over
yeah,
my head. I haven't.
yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe they're, trying to take in consideration on that.
Okay, so like on the last one, what do we need at the next meeting to help with the easement questions?
Well, first of all, in my mind, we gotta figure out what passed and what didn't.
Okay.
It was just
Well-
the lot,
1 acre.
Well, we-
frontage, the 1 acre setbacks, that's the only thing that was brought before them that night.
What we passed that night here didn't make it to the commissioners in its entirety.
There you go.
Do we need to
Exactly.
reset
You just
that?
said that. So, yes.
If we need to resend it, then that's what we need to work on at the next meeting.
I think we need to.
Okay, so on the
And just
agenda,
put it all together.
Do we need to rescind it, or do we just need to add it in on this when we break property up in 3 acres, 3 times?
Well, I guess I would
think
send
the
back
best
another
option
memo
is
to
rescind.
Zach, saying this is, we
We
have
don't need
reiterated
to
that, this
rescind
is
it.
what we also.
We
believe.
can make an amendment to that or something.
That's what I'd rather see us do. We worked too hard to get that passed.
I guess you're gonna have to ask your attorney if that can be done.
Well, we're just adding another amendment, we're just amending.
Sure. I mean,
I
can we
don't,
not
that's
just
gonna
put
be
a
something
clause that
new.
property cannot be blocked somehow or another? Say, you know what I'm saying? You can buy 1 acre lots, that's fine, but if there's property back there, you're gonna have to come to the board
I
to
don't,
get,
I don't know that that's our problem. I mean, as a county, I don't believe
Well,
it is.
I don't,
If somebody buys
I think to a certain.
3 1-acre tracts off the front of somebody's 100-acre farm, it's not my place to worry about how they're getting back to it, I don't think. They'll have to use some of the 97 acres that they didn't sell me.
Or,
There-
like I said,
there-
they have
there-
plans to do
there's a
that. If
big
I have
thing
a
we talked
big
about.
lot and I'm gonna set off a
Until-
little bit, I'm planning on doing this more, I'm gonna say, I'm selling you this lot. I'm keeping an easement though. I'm keeping an
You know,
easement
I'd like
because
to
I
have 20
intend
acres
to make
behind
this
me
over
that was
here or somewhere here, granted with this lot, so that this person can have a driveway, cause I'm gonna sell this. a couple years. I'm gonna sell it back here.
So do we not have a draft language of what we discussed on the lane split?
Well, I don't think notes got
Black and
made.
I don't know if I had stuff, if Missy has stuff.
I agree with what you're saying, but I've also dealt with a lot of people that I don't know that I would. And I think there's a certain part of the county that needs to try to protect the citizens of the county.
The thing that I'll go by,
Well, there's 20 acres.
if I didn't know that I had to have
Ain't
a
no
building
citizens
permit.
back here.
for an above ground pool that I bought at Walmart, do I know that I gotta be sure that I have an easement to a piece of property behind? Or would I think that's gonna be automatic?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Especially if I ain't played in this game very much. And I can tell you that based upon my experience when I've been dealing with doctors and everything else, it's like, whatever the hell, just jab me with a needle, get me better. You just lose track. Well, I can assume somebody a little older, just like, whatever, yeah, I just want this piece of property.
Yeah,
Then all of a sudden you find out, wait a minute. So,
Well,
but
that's
then
why
on
you
the other
do
hand,
your title searches and you get a good attorney.
but then on the other hand, is it our job to be sure of that? The other part of that is, you know, hey folks, you just throw all this off. We can't record this until there's an easement to that property. I mean, do you catch it there? Other than the guy flies in with a helicopter.
I think we almost just need to put it as a 100-foot road frontage, providing you're not landlocked. I mean, and just have that in our,
At what point do you say you can tell people what to do with their property?
exactly. I don't know.
Well,
This is
I'm
still America, isn't it?
you still go down, but we make them come buy a permit. We make them come here and ask for variances. So yeah, we're telling them what they can and can't do with the property. But how far down that hole do we want to go?
I mean, yeah, because that's why I shake my head.
You take a lot of Scott County, most of it's on 1 mile square grids.
All of it,
And
except Clark's Green.
there you go. So, and that's exactly where I was thinking of.
And a little bit in Austin.
So you take 400 feet deep, roughly, from each road, you got a hell of a chunk of ground in between there, you know, between your roads.
But there are also roads on, yeah, it's set up on sections, that's a mile square. But most of the county roads are on what they call aliquot parts lines. And aliquot parts is, the QUO is 4 and the ALA is equal. So it's not uncommon for there to be parallel roads 1/4 mile apart that run east-west or north-south. And it's also not uncommon for them to be 2.5 miles apart that run north-south and east-west.
That's the parcels I'm talking about.
Yeah, we're in some head scratching stuff here. The bottom line is we cannot make rules that are going to cover everything.
I mean, are we gonna, I guess what Randy's talking about and all that, are we gonna say, if you're selling all your road frontage and you're keeping ground behind, you have to keep an easement to that? I don't know.
Well, you might say that, but I
Well,
can't, that would be a really dumb thing to do.
Well, I guess-
Landlock yourself.
Well, but I mean,
You don't say it, but you really consider
the
yourself.
thing is, though, that plays both ways. It's a dumb thing to do to that guy, but what if you don't do it, then he turns around and says, oh, by the way, I'm coming through here to get to my
I'm
property.
sorry.
Probably gonna get a lawsuit.
Well, I mean,
That's what I'm saying, it's like,
that's what
because
you
it can't, I
need.
mean, that's what, you should need a good attorney to say, and I'm telling you, this is my last lot that gets me to here.
But
I'm
we
taking
could,
an easement so I can get back here.
we could have elderly people that own property that somebody comes in and talks to them
Exactly.
and does something.
That's
I
what I'm
You
worried.
had a bad one, but my client just got sued for an ingress, and he got it, because he said, that's the only way I can get there. Sorry. I'm giving you, that we're discussing.
But that
this.
happens.
We are discussing the
Yeah.
bounds of that easement, but the judge said, yeah, you can't.
The people don't care,
They
He has to
don't
get to his
know.
property.
they don't know,
So-
or they just have talked an elderly person into selling this piece of ground for whatever. And then bam, it's done. They have a deed. Is there, that this person's left with this ground back there. They may not have seen it for 20 years. I think we gotta put something in there to stop that from happening.
I do too.
I don't know what that is, but
That's what we
I
look
mean-
at and work on the next meeting.
The county is not an HOA, I get it, but
Yeah.
we do have, I think we do have to protect as much as we can.
well, I mean, that's what this whole board's about.
Yeah.
Is having some order and some protection for the county and for everybody's neighbors to not let anybody do anything they want to do. It's just we gotta be careful not to be too restricted. That's where the rat drops.
Mr. Gary, as we're hopefully kind of winding down, can I bring up two quick things,
Yes.
hopefully quick? Number one, so are we okay in affirming our officers as Gary president and Randy as vice?
You did that at that last meeting, I thought.
wasn't there a
think we did.
secretary or something too officially?
No.
No, there's not.
Things are
Okay.
recorded, aren't they?
That one.
I'm laughing, Tom, because I don't remember how I got to be vice.
Yeah, okay.
I nominated you, that's how
I
you got it.
know, one of you did.
So I mean, if that's fine, and y'all are fine with that, that's good. The other thing was, I've been researching a little bit, because we had some discussion of, okay, whose term is it, and what is your length of term? The term of your appointment. And so Gary, correct me if it became an area plan commission, became an advisory plan commission, I'm gonna say that was in 2019.
Yes.
Okay, so I was kind of working backwards, and I started with this year, and to say we had Gary, John, Matt, Andrew came on, and I'm gonna say that fifth commissioner position was vacant. So I'm gonna put Matt and Andrew, as this was the first of their 4 years, and maybe back up and say typically when a board starts, you would have them staggered. A term might be 4 years, so you're gonna have somebody that'll be that 4 year, somebody a 3 year, somebody a 2 year, and somebody a 1 year term. I mean, that's typically, if we wanna say that's how I would do it. So of that fifth person, I put Gary as a 4 year term, John as a 3 year. We had at that point Doug Andrews and Mike Everett. I put them down as 2 year terms, and Pat Bridgewater as the 1 year term. So then when I walk it on through, again, that's how we get Gary. At the moment, you're in your third or your fourth year. John is in his fourth of a 4 year term. Matt and Andrew are starting the first of their 4 year term. And then that vacant position, I'm gonna say, was the second. So now if we're gonna say Jonathan's gonna be fulfilling that vacant position here at the end of 2025, then that means in 26, Gary will be on the last of his 4 year term. John starts another 4 year term. Matt and Andrew are in their second of the 4 year term, and then Jonathan is in the third of the 4 year term. So if that, again, that's how I backed it up to say that I'm repeating myself, but Gary was a 4 year, John was a 3 year, Doug and Mike was a 2 year, and Pat Bridgewater was a 1 year. And then
Thought.
Mhm.
It's good, thank you. Can we get that to where we have that in front of us and let us adopt that at the next meeting?
yeah, I'll put that in an email and send it to Stacy. And where I went back one, the only ones I had was 2019, 20, 21, 22 that Marty had sent to us. Yeah, I didn't see that I had one in 23 or 24 this year, but just going by where those positions were, knowing Pat Bridgewater passed away, and that's where Steve Harold came on. And I'll put all these names down. And then Steve, pretty sure quit us in 23. So that's how I put him as his 4 year term ended. And then that was vacant. And so then that vacant position will now be filled by Jonathan. So if I'm doing that correctly, it's like whenever you appoint somebody else, they step into wherever that person was and in their term of office.
So then
So I'll put
whoever's
this-
titled by
I'll
the
put my
council will
scribbles
just step
on it.
into where he.
Can I put these on a spreadsheet and I'll send it to Stacy?
Any further business?
That's all I have.
Anybody else? I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion. Go ahead, second.
I'll second.
We got a second. All those in favor signify by
So
saying aye.
that puts my term ending in
We are adjourned. It's 8.
one more year.
Yeah.
Now, is that the
Well,
council?
26 will be 2026 will be your third of a 4 year term.
How about if I move to that position that's vacant right now?